The silence of deep space was not truly silent. It was a heavy, crushing pressure that pressed against the thick metal hull of the cargo ship. The ship was a bulky, ugly thing, painted a dull shade of gray that looked like it had been scratched with rocks. It drifted near the swirling colors of a dying star, a giant red ball of gas that looked like an angry eye in the darkness dot inside the ship. The air smelled like old coffee and burnt wire. Two men sat in the cockpit, which was a small room filled with flashing screens and buzzing lights. Alex sat in the pilot's chair. He was a man with messy brown hair and a face that looked like he hadn't slept in 3 days. He wore a blue jumpsuit with grease stains on the sleeves. He wasn't looking at the view of the stars. He was looking at a small screen in his hand. His thumb moved quickly, tapping on the glass. David sat in the co-pilot's chair next to him. David was younger, with bright eyes that were currently open very wide. He was sweating. He kept looking from the radar screen to the front window, then back to the radar. "Alex," David said. His voice was shaking a little bit. "Alex, are you seeing this?" Alex didn't look up. "I see it, Dave. Keep your shirt on." "Keep my shirt on?" David almost jumped out of his seat. "There are 10 of them. Maybe 12. They are moving fast. They have us surrounded." Finally, Alex looked up. He sighed and put the small screen down on the dashboard. He rubbed his eyes with the back of his hand. "Okay, let's take a look." Outside the thick glass, the darkness of space was interrupted by bright, sleek shapes. They were hunter ships. They were long and silver, shining with a light that looked almost blue. They moved like snakes in the water, twisting and turning with perfect grace. They were beautiful, but they were very dangerous. These were the ships of the Xyloph. The Xyloph were a race of aliens who loved to hunt. They didn't hunt for food. They hunted for the thrill of it. They tracked down ships that were weak or lost, and they destroyed them. Today, they thought they had found an easy meal. They thought the ugly gray cargo ship was full of helpless travelers. On the bridge of the lead alien ship, the Xyloph commander stood tall. He was thin, with pale skin and large black eyes. He looked down at the view screen showing the human ship. He felt no pity. He only felt excitement. His 2 long fingers tapped on the arm of his chair. "The prey is slowing down," the commander said. His voice sounded like 2 glass bottles rubbing together. "Its engines are failing. It is wounded. Shall we destroy them now, Commander?" asked the pilot. The pilot was also eager. He wanted to see the explosion. "No," the commander said, smiling. A smile on his Xyloph face looked like a cut in the skin. "Where is the honor in killing a sleeping beast? Wake them up. Make them run. Let them feel fear before the end." The Xyloph fleet moved. They were fast. One by one, the silver ships zipped around the slow cargo ship. They fired their warning shots. Lasers red as fire shot past the human ship, missing it by just a few feet. The lasers hit the empty space and disappeared dot inside the cockpit. The ship rocked slightly. The lights flickered. "They're firing on us," David yelled. He grabbed the edge of his seat. "We have to do something. We have to call for help." "Relax," Alex said calmly. He picked up his coffee mug. It was empty, but he tilted it back anyway, hoping for a drop. "They are just playing games. If they wanted to kill us, we would already be dust." "Playing games?" David looked at the radar. The red dots representing the enemy ships were getting closer. They were forming a circle. A trap. "Alex, look at the sensors. They have ion cannons locked onto our hull. One shot, and we are dead. Why aren't they firing?" Alex put the mug down and looked at the main screen. He saw the silver ships dancing in the void. "They want us to panic, Dave. They want us to beg. It makes them feel big." Suddenly, a loud noise came through the speakers. It was the Xyloph hailing frequency. A cold voice filled the cockpit. "Human ship," the voice said. "You are trapped. Your engines are weak. Your shields are down. Surrender now, and we will make your end quick." David looked at Alex. "What do we do? Should we surrender?" Alex laughed. It was a short, dry laugh. "Surrender? To those guys? Look at them. They are showing off. They are too busy looking at their own reflection in the space dust to pay attention." Alex reached forward and pressed a button. The microphone lit up. "This is Alex of the cargo ship Long Haul," he said. His voice sounded bored. "Can you guys keep it down? We are trying to run some diagnostics here. You're messing up our sensors." There was a moment of silence on the other end. The Xyloph commander was confused. This was not the reaction he expected. Humans usually screamed. They usually cried. "Did you hear me, human?" The commander hissed. "You are surrounded. We are the Xyloph hunters. We have destroyed thousands of ships like yours. You are nothing." Yeah, very scary," Alex said. He turned to David. "Pass me that wrench, will you? The stabilizer is acting up again." David handed him the wrench, his hand shaking. "Alex, are you crazy? Don't make them mad." "I'm not making them mad," Alex said, tightening a bolt on the control panel. "I'm distracting them. Check the power levels on the rear batteries. Tell me when they hit 100%. David looked at the screen. "They are at 80%. 90. "Alex, what are you planning? This ship doesn't have any guns. We are a transport vessel. We haul minerals and grain. We can't fight a fleet of hunters." "That is what the brochure says," Alex said with a small smile. "But you know what they say about assumptions." Outside, the Xyloph commander lost his patience. The human was not afraid. The human was rude. This insulted the commander. He sat up straighter in his chair. "Enough games," the commander ordered. "Target their engines. Fire a warning shot directly across their nose. Make them tremble." 3 of the silver ships moved in unison. They aimed their glowing weapons at the front of the cargo ship. They wanted to show the humans that death was seconds away. The lasers built up energy, shining brighter and brighter. Inside the cockpit, a red warning light began to flash. "Okay, Dave," Alex said softly. He stopped pretending to fix the panel. His hands rested on the steering yoke. Now what?" David asked. "Now, we stop pretending to be helpless." The Xyloph ships fired. The beams of energy screamed through space, heading straight for the cockpit of the Long Haul. David closed his eyes, waiting for the heat, waiting for the end. But the end did not come. Alex didn't move the ship away. He didn't try to dodge. Instead, he flipped a switch covered by a plastic case. The switch was red. A massive invisible shield snapped into place around the cargo ship. The red laser beams hit the shield and splashed like water on a hot sidewalk. The energy scattered harmlessly into the dark, lighting up the space around the ship, but not leaving a scratch. On the bridge of the alien ship, the commander stood up. "How?" he whispered. "That ship has no shield generator. Our scan said it was a weak hull. Scan again." The pilot yelled. In the cockpit of the Long Haul, the lights changed. The soft yellow lights of the cargo ship turned off, replaced by harsh red battle lights. The computer screen stopped showing cargo lists and started showing targeting grids. The humming of the engines grew louder, changing from a low rumble to a high-pitched whine. Alex looked at the screen where the Xyloph commander's face was frozen in shock. Alex didn't look bored anymore. He looked dangerous. "You wanted our attention?" Alex said into the microphone. "You have it." He pushed the throttle forward. The ugly, bulky cargo ship didn't run away. It turned. It turned faster than a ship that size had any right to turn. It pointed its nose directly at the center of the alien circle. "David," Alex said, "is the surprise ready?" David looked at the readout. The numbers were green. The power was at maximum. He stopped sweating. A slow grin spread across his face. He understood now. They weren't the prey. "The surprise is ready, Alex," David said. "Good," Alex said. "Let's go hunting." The silence that followed the failed attack was heavy. Inside the Xylov commander's ship, the crew was frozen. They stared at their screens in disbelief. Their weapons, which could melt through the hull of a warship, had done nothing to the gray cargo ship. The energy had just splashed against an invisible wall and disappeared. The commander sat back down slowly. His long fingers gripped the armrests of his chair until his knuckles turned white. He was a proud hunter. He had chased the fastest starships in the galaxy. He had never missed a shot. But now, a ship that looked like a flying junkyard was shrugging off his best firepower like it was rain. "Report," the commander barked. His voice was shaking, just a little bit. The ship is still there," the weapons officer said. He tapped his screen frantically. "It is not moving. But the energy readings, they are changing. They are going up." On the screen, the face of the human appeared again. It was the man with the messy hair. Alex. He didn't look scared. In fact, he looked annoyed. He took a sip from a cup and leaned closer to the camera. "Hey," Alex said. "Could you watch where you are pointing those things? You almost scratched the paint. This isn't a rental, you know?" The commander felt his face get hot. The human was mocking him. "You speak of paint when death stares you in the face. Your shields will not hold forever. Human, we have infinite power. You are just one ship." Alex yawned. He actually yawned. He covered his mouth with one hand and then looked back at the camera. "Yeah, about that. You keep talking about power. But power isn't just big lasers, you know? It's about efficiency." On the alien ship, the navigational officer turned around. "Commander, I am detecting a heat signature. It is coming from their engines." "Of course their engines are hot," the commander snapped. "They are trying to run." "No," the officer said, his voice high and scared. "It is too hot. Normal engines burn at a certain temperature. These readings, they are climbing. It is like they are burning their fuel too fast. Or maybe it isn't standard fuel." Inside the human cockpit, David was watching the numbers climb. He was sweating again, but this time it was from excitement, not fear. "Alex," David said, "the reactor is at 120%. The hull is starting to vibrate. If we keep this up, the bolts are going to pop off the walls." "Let them pop," Alex said calmly. He flipped a series of switches on the dashboard. The lights in the cockpit dimmed as power was diverted from life support to the weapon systems. "We need them to understand who they are messing with." "Are we going to shoot back?" David asked. He looked at the empty weapon racks. "We don't have any guns visible on the outside." Alex smiled. It was a wolfish smile. "Who said we need guns? We have something better." Outside, the Xylov fleet was getting nervous. The silver ships were no longer flying in perfect formation. They were backing away, just a little bit. The hunters could sense that something was wrong. Their instincts, which had guided them for thousands of years, were screaming at them to leave. The commander opened the channel again. He tried to sound strong. "Human, you are making a mistake. If you surrender now, we will take you as prisoners. You can serve the Xylov Empire. Do not force us to destroy you." Alex laughed. "Prisoners? You think I want to clean your floors? Look, buddy, I'm going to give you one chance to turn around and go home. I have a delivery schedule to keep, and you are delaying me. You are in no position to make demands." The commander shouted. He stood up again. Fire the main cannon. Destroy them. The lead Xyloph ship obeyed. A massive beam of purple light gathered at the front of their ship. It was a weapon meant to destroy space stations. It fired, screaming across the void toward the long-haul dot inside the cockpit. The alarm blared. Impact in 3 seconds. David yelled. Alex didn't move the ship. He didn't raise the shields. Instead, he pressed a bright yellow button on the console. Just as the purple beam was about to hit, the cargo ship seemed to shimmer. The gray metal plating on the front of the ship rippled like water. The purple beam hit the ship, but it didn't explode. The beam was sucked into the metal plates. What? The commander whispered. Where did the beam go? On the human ship, the lights glowed brighter. The engines roared. Energy absorption complete, a computer voice said inside the cockpit. Redirecting to external capacitors. Alex patted the dashboard. Good girl. Eat it up. David watched the screen. They just fired their biggest gun, and we used it to charge our batteries. That is insane. It's efficient, Alex said. Now, show them what we really are. Alex grabbed a lever covered in safety stickers. He pulled it back hard. Outside, the transformation began. It was a terrifying sight to behold. The ugly, bulky cargo ship groaned as hidden gears turned beneath the hull. The false metal plates on the sides of the ship slid away. Heavy armor, thick and black, rotated into place. The ship didn't look like a cargo hauler anymore. It looked like a beast waking up from a long sleep, but the most frightening change was the weapons. Along the sides of the ship, panels opened. But they didn't reveal cannons. They revealed rows of missile tubes. Hundreds of them. On the top of the ship, a large turret rose up, spinning around to lock onto the nearest enemy. The Xyloph fleet stopped dead in space. They were horrified. This was a trap. It had been a trap the whole time. Retreat. The commander screamed. Break formation. Get away from that thing. But it was too late. Alex was done talking. He looked at the radar. It was filled with red dots. It was time to clean up the mess. David, Alex said, target the ship on the left. The one that was firing the warning shots. Target locked, David said. His voice was steady now. Fire. A single missile shot out from the human ship. It moved slowly at first, then the engine ignited, and it shot forward like a bullet. It didn't hit the alien ship directly. It flew right next to it and exploded. The explosion wasn't big, but it was bright. It released a cloud of tiny metal particles. The particles stuck to the alien ship's hull. Then, a second later, the particles turned into electricity. Blue sparks danced all over the silver ship. The alien ship's lights flickered and died. It spun out of control, floating helplessly in the dark. MP warhead, Alex said. Non-lethal, but very effective. Okay, let's try the big guns. He pushed the throttle forward. The human ship, now fully revealed as a warship, leaped forward. It was fast, much faster than the Xyloph hunters expected. It charged straight into the center of the enemy circle. The aliens tried to scatter. They fired their lasers wildly, but the human ship was dodging. It moved with a grace that shouldn't be possible for something so big. Alex was flying with one hand on the stick and the other hand holding his coffee. The human ship rolled to the left, dodging a beam of red light. As it rolled, the turret on top spun. Boom, boom. 3 heavy plasma rounds shot out. They struck the engine of a second hunter ship. The engine ruptured. There was no fire in space, but the ship blew apart silently, sending debris flying in all directions. 2 down, Alex said. Who's next? The Xyloph commander was panicking. His bridge was in chaos. Alarms were blaring. His crew was yelling. They are too fast. The pilot yelled. I can't get a lock on them." "Stop shouting." The commander roared. He felt fear in his chest for the first time in his life. This human was not running. He was attacking them. He was hunting the hunters. "Send a distress signal. Tell the High Command we have found a demon." Inside the long hall, David watched the radar. The red dots were scattering. They weren't brave anymore. They were terrified. "They are running, Alex," David said. Alex shook his head. "No, Dave, they aren't running. They are just trying to get into a better position to hide." Alex tapped the screen. "Do you see that big ship there? The one with the fancy lights? The flagship?" David asked. "Yeah," Alex said. "That's the boss. I think we need to have a word with him." "You want to attack the flagship?" David asked. "There are still 8 other ships between us and him." 8? Alex grinned. "That's just a warm-up." He pushed the steering yoke forward. The human ship dived, heading directly for the chaotic swarm of alien ships. Alex wasn't checking his shields. He wasn't checking his fuel. He was flying by instinct. He was enjoying himself. "Hold on, Dave," Alex said. "This is going to get bumpy." The ship shuddered as alien fire bounced off the thick armor. Alex flew through the explosion of a destroyed fighter, using the smoke to hide for a second. When he came out the other side, he was right behind a group of 3 alien ships. "Hello, boys," Alex whispered. He pressed a button. Missiles launched from the rear tubes. They swerved in the air, curving around to chase the alien ships. The aliens tried to dodge, but the missiles were smart. They found their targets. 3 explosions lit up the darkness. The shock wave hit the human ship, rocking it back and forth. Alex laughed. "Did you see that?" Alex yelled. "That was beautiful." David was holding on to his seat. "Yes, it was amazing. But look at the flagship. It is turning around. It is running away." "Oh no, you don't," Alex said. His eyes narrowed. "Nobody interrupts my coffee break and then just leaves." He adjusted his grip on the controls. The engine roared even louder. The human ship surged forward, leaving the burning wreckage behind. It was a chase now. The prey had become the predator. And the predator was very, very angry. The Xyla flagship was a beautiful ship. It was long and silver, designed to cut through the stars like a knife through water. It was the pride of the fleet. But right now, it was running away. The commander sat in his chair, his hands gripping the armrest so hard that the metal bent under his fingers. He was breathing fast. His heart was beating like a drum. "Engine status," he shouted. "Engines at maximum," the pilot replied. His voice was high with panic. "But the human ship is gaining on us. It is impossible." On the main screen, the view from the back of the ship showed a terrifying sight. The ugly, blocky human ship was getting closer and closer. It didn't fly smoothly like the Xyla ships. It jerked and rolled, moving with a strange, twitchy energy. It was like a wild animal chasing its prey, and it was fast. Too fast. Inside the human ship, the cockpit was shaking violently. The ship was vibrating so much that David's teeth were chattering. "Alex," David yelled over the noise of the engines. "The structural integrity is at 50%. If we push this engine any harder, it's going to tear the ship apart." Alex had a wild look in his eyes. He was grinning, his white teeth showing against his dirty face. He didn't look like a scared merchant anymore. He looked like a man who was having the time of his life. "Let it shake, Dave," Alex shouted back. He pulled the steering yoke to the left, and the ship made a sharp turn. "We need to catch them before they reach the nebula. If they get in there, we lose them." "Why do we want to catch them so bad?" David asked, holding on to his console. "We scared them off. We won." Alex shook his head. "No, Dave, we don't win you. till they know they can't ever come back. Pass me that wrench." David handed him a heavy metal wrench. Alex didn't use it to fix anything. He slammed it down onto a red button on the dashboard that had gotten stuck. "Power to forward guns," Alex yelled. "Let's give them a little goodbye present." Outside, the human ship opened fire. It wasn't the small missiles from before. These were heavy, bright orange plasma bolts. They shot across the distance between the two ships. The Xylof commander watched in horror. "Evasive maneuvers," he screamed. The flagship tried to dodge, but it was too heavy. One of the orange bolts hit the rear shield. The shield flared bright blue and then shattered like glass. The second bolt hit the engine. The silver ship groaned and spun out of control. Direct hit. David cheered. "You hit their engine." "Good," Alex said. He eased back on the throttle, and the shaking stopped a little bit. "Let's slow down and have a chat." The human ship coasted to a stop near the damaged flagship. The Xylof ship was floating helplessly, smoke drifting from its engine. It looked broken. The hunter was now the hunted. Alex pressed the communication button. "Hey there. You guys having some engine trouble? Maybe you need a tow truck." The screen flickered, and the face of the Xylof commander appeared. He looked terrible. His pale skin was sweating, and his large eyes were wide with fear. He looked at Alex with pure hatred and terror. You monster," the commander hissed. "What kind of beast are you? You destroyed my escort. You damaged my ship. You fight like a demon." Alex leaned back in his chair. "I'm just a guy trying to do his job. You guys jumped me first, remember? You were the ones circling around like sharks. We are the Xylof." The commander shouted. "We are the supreme hunters. We do not lose to dirt eaters like you. Our scans showed you were nothing. A cargo ship. How is this possible?" Alex looked at the camera. "You scanned the outside of the box, Commander. You didn't look inside. You saw what you wanted to see. You saw a weak target. That is your mistake." He gestured to the dark cockpit. "This isn't a cargo ship. It's a Q-ship. It's a trap. We look weak so the pirates and hunters like you come close." And then, Alex made an exploding sound with his mouth. Boom. The commander was shaking. But why? Humans are supposed to be peaceful. Traders. Farmers. David leaned into the camera frame. "Humans are lots of things, buddy. Sometimes we are farmers. But sometimes we are the guys who hunt the hunters. It keeps the universe balanced." Suddenly, an alarm began to beep on the Xylof bridge. The commander looked down at his screen. "Reinforcements," the commander whispered. A smile slowly came back to his face. It was a cruel smile. "You may have beaten me, human, but my brothers are coming. 3 more fleets. They will be here in minutes. You are trapped again." Alex sighed. He rubbed his forehead. "I was really hoping to finish my coffee. They will tear you apart." The commander laughed. "You cannot fight the entire Xylof nation. You should have killed me when you had the chance." Alex looked at David. "What do you think, Dave? Can we take 3 fleets?" David looked at the radar. "No way. Our ammo is low. The engine is overheating. We are running on fumes here, Alex." "Right," Alex said. He turned back to the screen. "Okay, Commander. You win this round. Your friends are coming. We have to go. Flee." The commander shouted. "Run like the cowards you are." Alex's face went serious. "I'm not fleeing. I'm retreating. There's a difference. Fleeing is when you run scared. Retreating is when you plan to come back later. I don't care what you call it." The commander yelled, "Go, before I destroy you myself." Alex pointed a finger at the screen. "Listen to me carefully. You go back to your bosses. You tell them what happened here. Tell them that the ugly gray ship isn't what it looks like. Tell them that humans don't like to be cornered. If you leave us alone, we leave you alone. But if you come looking for us again—" Alex didn't finish the sentence. He just smiled. It was a smile that promised pain. "End transmission," Alex said. The screen went black. "Alex, look!" David pointed out the window dot in the distance. Tiny points of light were appearing. Dozens of them. The Xyloph reinforcements were arriving. They were fast, and there were a lot of them. "Okay, time to go," Alex said. He grabbed a lever. "Dave, hold on to your lunch. We are going to try something stupid." "I don't like stupid, Alex," David yelled as he strapped himself in. "It's the only way to get past them," Alex said. He turned the ship toward the dying star. The giant red sun was swirling and angry. "We are going to dive." "You mean into the star?" David screamed. "That's suicide? The heat will melt us." "Not if we are fast," Alex said. "The gravity will pull us in. We use the gravity to slingshot us around the star and shoot out the other side." "They won't follow us. Are you sure?" David asked, his face pale green. "Nope," Alex said. "But it's better than getting shot by 50 lasers." Alex pushed the throttle all the way forward. The ship's engine screamed. The human ship turned away from the reinforcements and aimed straight at the burning surface of the dying star. On the Xyloph bridge, the commander watched. "He's insane," he whispered. "He's going to kill himself." The human ship moved faster and faster. The red star got bigger and bigger on the screen. The heat shields on the outside of the ship began to glow red. The cockpit temperature started to rise. The alarms were screaming now. "Temperature critical." David yelled. "Alex, it's getting hot in here." "I know," Alex shouted. Sweat was dripping down his face. "Just a little longer." "Wait for the gravity spike." The ship shook violently. The metal groaned. They were so close to the star now that the light outside was blinding. It looked like they were flying into a fire. "Gravity spike in 3, 2, 1. Now." Alex yelled. He pulled the yoke back with all his strength. The ship fought against the massive pull of the star. The G-force was intense. It pushed Alex and David deep into their seats. It felt like a giant elephant was sitting on their chests. "Come on. Come on." Alex gritted his teeth. Slowly, the nose of the ship pointed away from the star. The gravity grabbed the ship and swung it around like a ball on a string. The ship shot out from the other side of the star, moving at an incredible speed. They were free. The reinforcements were stuck on the other side of the star. They couldn't follow the dangerous path through the gravity. Alex let out a long breath and eased the throttle back. The shaking stopped. The temperature began to drop. "We made it," David wheezed. He wiped sweat from his forehead. "We are alive." Alex took his empty coffee cup and tossed it into the trash bin. "See? Told you it would work." "Never do that again," David said, closing his eyes. Alex looked at the star map. They were far away from the Xyloph fleet now. They were safe for the moment. He looked at the spot where the alien flagship had been. "We sent a message today, Dave," Alex said quietly. "They aren't going to forget us." David opened his eyes. "Do you think they will listen?" Alex smiled a tired smile. "They will listen. They are hunters, Dave, and they just learned that there is a bigger animal in the forest." He turned the ship toward the open space. "Now, let's go find a space station. I need a refill." The human ship, battered and burned, flew off into the darkness, leaving the fire and the fear behind. The hunters had been hunted, and the legend of the human ship had just begun. The Q-ship, the long haul, moved through the silence of space like a ghost. It was no longer the bright, shining ship that had fought the Xyla fleet. It was scorched and blackened. The once gray armor was covered in soot. Sparks flew from the back of the ship, drifting into the void like tiny fireflies. Inside, the air was hot and smelled like ozone and burnt plastic. Alex sat in the pilot's seat, wiping grease from his forehead with the back of his hand. His knuckles were red and swollen from gripping the controls so tight during the escape. David was slumped in his chair, looking exhausted. He was pressing a cold pack to his head. "We are lucky to be alive," David said quietly. "I thought for sure we were going to burn up in that star." Alex let out a long breath. "We are tougher than we look, Dave. The ship took a beating, but the core systems are still online. We just need to find a place to hide and fix the hull." "Where can we go?" David asked, looking at the star map. "The Xylof will be looking for us. They probably have spies everywhere. We can't go to a regular space station. They will hand us over." Alex tapped his chin, thinking, "You're right. We need somewhere off the grid. Somewhere nobody goes." He looked at the map and zoomed in on a sector of space marked as empty void. "What about there?" Alex pointed. David looked at the screen. "There is nothing there. Just an old asteroid belt. It's mostly rocks and dust." "Exactly," Alex said. "Nobody goes there because there is nothing to find. It's the perfect place to hide." Alex turned the ship toward the dark sector. The engines groaned as they pushed the damaged ship forward. It was going to be a long trip. Meanwhile, far away, on the Xylof home world, things were not quiet. The capital city was a place of tall crystal spires and beautiful silver buildings. But today, the mood was dark. The High Council sat in a large, round room. In the center stood the commander. His ship had been towed back, barely holding together. He looked messy and weak, nothing like the proud hunter he used to be. The leader of the council, a tall alien with eyes like deep pools, looked down at the commander. "You failed," the leader said. His voice was cold. "You took 12 hunter ships to destroy one cargo vessel. You lost 8 of them, and you let the cargo ship escape." The commander bowed his head. "Forgive me, great leader. It was a trap. The human ship. It was not a cargo ship. It was a monster. It had technology we have never seen. It absorbed our energy. It moved faster than our fighters." "Excuses," the leader spat. "Humans are weak. They are soft. They live short lives and die easily. How could one ship defeat the best of our fleet?" "It was the pilot," the commander said, remembering the face on the screen. The human called himself Alex. He did not fight like a normal soldier. He took risks. He flew into the gravity of a dying star. He has no fear. He is crazy. The room was silent. The council members whispered to each other. The idea of a human who did not fear death was new to them. They hunted because they enjoyed the fear of their prey. If the prey was not afraid, the game changed. "If what you say is true," the leader said, "then this human is a danger to us all. If other humans learn to build ships like this, our dominance in the galaxy is over." "We must find him," the commander said, lifting his head. "We must hunt him down and destroy him before he can tell others what he did." The leader nodded. "Send out the order. All Xyla fleets are to search for this ship. Offer a reward. A massive reward. I want that human's head on a spike." Back on the long haul, days had passed. The ship was now hiding inside a dense cluster of asteroids. The rocks were huge, some as big as moons. They cast long, dark shadows that provided excellent cover. Alex and David were working in the cargo bay, which was now a makeshift workshop. The ship had a small repair bay, but the damage to the hull was too big for the automated drones. They had to fix it by hand. Alex was wearing a heavy spacesuit, welding a piece of metal over a hole in the side of the ship. The bright light of the torch flared in the dark bay. David was nearby, sorting through spare parts. "This hull plating is from an old destroyer," David said, lifting a heavy metal sheet. "It won't match the rest of the ship, but it should hold." "Good enough," Alex said, his voice crackling over the radio in David's helmet. "We don't need it to look pretty. We just need it to be airtight." Alex finished welding and turned off the torch. He floated in the zero gravity for a moment, looking at the patch. It was ugly. It looked like a scar on an already beaten-up face. "Dave," Alex said. "I've been thinking." "About what?" David asked. "About what the commander said. He called us dirt eaters. He thought we were nothing. He underestimated us because we are human." David nodded. "Most aliens think that. They see our short lifespans and our soft bodies, and they think we are weak." "But we aren't weak," Alex said. He pushed off the wall and floated over to David. "We are stubborn. When things get hard, we don't give up. We adapt. That is our weapon." David smiled behind his helmet visor. "That weapon almost got us killed last week." "Yeah, but it didn't," Alex said. "And next time, we will be ready. We need to upgrade the sensors. If they come for us again, I want to see them before they even see the asteroid belt." Just then, a red light began to flash on the console near the airlock. "Alex," David said, his voice tight. "That's the long-range sensor alarm." Alex looked at the light. "Are we expecting company?" "No," David said. He pushed himself toward the console to check the screen. "It's a ship. A small one, but it's moving fast. Is it Xyloph?" Alex asked. David shook his head. "No, the signal signature is different. It's human." Alex's eyes widened. "Human? Out here? That's impossible. We are in uncharted space. Maybe it's a scavenger?" David suggested. "Someone looking for salvage?" "Maybe," Alex said. "Or maybe it's someone looking for us. Bring the ship around. Power up the weapons. Just in case." The two men floated quickly to the cockpit. Alex strapped himself into the pilot's seat and powered up the engines. The damaged ship rumbled to life. On the screen, a small dot appeared. It was a ship much smaller than the long haul. It looked like a shuttle. It was flying erratically, bouncing off the gravitational pull of the asteroids. "It looks like they are in trouble," David said. "Their engine is sputtering." "Or it's a trick," Alex said. He watched the screen closely. The Xyloph could have captured a human ship and are using it as bait. The small shuttle sent out a signal. It was an old radio frequency, one used by Earth smugglers years ago. "This is the transport Starlight," a voice crackled over the speakers. It was a woman's voice, filled with panic. "Is anyone there? Please, we are out of fuel. Our life support is failing. We need help." Alex looked at David. "What do you think?" David hesitated. "If we leave them, they die. If we help them, it could be a trap." Alex thought about the Xyloph commander. He thought about the arrogance of the hunters. He thought about how they judged people before they knew them. "We aren't them, Dave," Alex said. "We don't leave people behind, but we stay alert." Alex opened the channel. "This is Alex of the long haul. We see you. Hold your position. We are coming to help." "Thank you," the woman's voice cried. "Thank you so much." Alex guided the Q-ship out from behind a large asteroid. He moved slowly, keeping the weapons locked on the small shuttle just in case. As they got closer, they could see the shuttle through the windows. It was an old Earth ship, rusted and covered in dust. It looked like it had been traveling for 100 years. "She looks like she's falling apart," David said. "She looks just like us." Alex said. Alex maneuvered the long haul next to the shuttle and extended the magnetic docking clamps. Clunk. The ships locked together. I'm going over there, Alex said, standing up. Keep the engines running. If anything happens, blast the shuttle and get out of here. Be careful, Alex, David said. Alex grabbed his tool belt and a laser pistol. He walked to the airlock and cycled the door. When the door opened, he floated into the other ship's airlock. He waited for the pressure to equalize, then opened the inner door. The shuttle was dark inside. Emergency lights cast a red glow over the small cabin. There were 3 people inside, 2 men and 1 woman. They were huddled together, wearing tattered clothes. They looked terrified. Alex stepped inside, his hand resting on his pistol. I'm Alex, he said. Who are you? The woman stood up. She was tall, with dark hair and tired eyes. I'm Sarah, she said. This is Mike and Tom. We escaped from a Xylof mining colony. Alex lowered his hand slightly. You escaped? How? We stole the shuttle, Sarah said, her voice shaking. We have been running for weeks. We heard a rumor that a human ship was fighting the Xylof. We were hoping to find you. Alex looked at them. They were dirty and hungry, but they were alive. They were survivors. You found us, Alex said. You're safe now. We heard what you did, Mike said, speaking up for the first time. We heard you destroyed a hunter fleet. Is it true? Did humans really do that? Alex smiled. Yeah, we did that. The 3 refugees looked at him with awe. For a long time, humans in this part of space had been victims. They had been pushed around by stronger aliens. But now, they had hope. We need to get out of here, Sarah said. The Xylof are tracking us. They used us to find you. Alex's smile faded. Tracking you? They put a beacon on the hull, Tom said. We tried to take it off, but it's fused to the metal. Before Alex could say anything, the alarm in the shuttle blared. David's voice came over Alex's radio. Alex, I'm picking up a signal. It's a homing beacon. And? I'm reading multiple warp signatures incoming. Fast. Get back to the ship. Alex yelled to the refugees. Move! Now! They scrambled toward the airlock. Alex followed, looking back at the empty shuttle. It was a trap. Just like David feared. They crossed back into the long hole, and Alex slammed the airlock shut. David, detach, now. The clamps released. The shuttle drifted away. Where are they? Alex asked, running to the cockpit. Decloaking right now, David said. Outside the window, space seemed to shimmer. One by one, silver ships appeared. Then another. And another. It wasn't just a fleet. It was an armada. There were hundreds of Xylof ships surrounding the asteroid belt. The radio crackled to life. It was a voice Alex recognized. The Xylof commander. Did you really think we would let you go that easily, human? The commander said. We used the mice to catch the rat. Now, you have nowhere to run. Alex looked at the screen. He looked at the hundreds of red dots. He looked at the scared refugees standing behind him. Well, Alex said, sitting back in the pilot's seat and powering up the weapons. I guess we are going to have to teach them a lesson about playing with mice. David gripped his controls. We can't fight all of them, Alex. I know, Alex said. We don't have to fight all of them. We just have to make them too scared to follow us. Alex looked at the dying star on the map, which was still far away. Then he looked at the asteroid field below them. Dave, Alex said. Do you trust me? David took a deep breath. You know I do. Good, Alex said. Because I have an idea. It's a really bad idea. But it might just work. The cockpit of the long hull was silent for a second after Alex spoke. The only sound was the hum of the engines and the heavy breathing of Sarah, Mike, and Tom, who were strapped into the passenger seats in the back. They were terrified. Outside the window, the Xyloph Armada was beautiful and terrifying. Hundreds of silver ships were moving in a perfect sphere, trapping the human ship against the dense asteroid field. Bad idea? David asked, his hands shaking on the controls. How bad are we talking?